Alright, so today's the day. It's that special video I've been promising you all. It's the 100 subscriber Extraordinaire. Although, technically the last time I checked I had like 106 subscribers. That's 6 more than I was going for, so hell yeah. In this video I'm going to be doing something really fun. I'm going to be answering 100 questions, for the 100 subscribers. Some of these questions are from people like you. A lot of them are from Google, and some of them are just ones that I pulled out of the air because I thought they'd be cool to talk about. My first question is, what is your channel about? My channel is mostly about video games, whether it be making video games or playing video games. The second question is, have you ever had a nickname, and what is it? When I was a little child, I couldn't say Tiffany, so I said Nickany. So in some circles of my family, people call me Nikki instead of Tiffany. But for now, if anybody wants to call me a nickname, just Tiff. I like to be called Tiff. How old are you? I am 28, I think. Can't keep up with my age. I'm too old now. Is this your first channel? See, I used to have a YouTube before YouTube switched over to the Google stuff, and I mostly made music videos to my favorite movies. Those videos got taken down for obvious reasons, copyright stuff. This is when YouTube was cool and you could put that cool stuff up. Those videos have disappeared into oblivion. I can't find them. Who is your target audience? Mostly adults. Which software do you use for video editing? Currently, I use Wondershare Filmora X. I used to use VSDC, which is a really cool, it's actually really powerful video editing software. It just bogged my computer down. It's very resource intensive. Special thanks to Dave. He's always sending me links to like softwares and stuff. He's like, hey, you should check out this software, Wondershare, and I did, and I liked it, and I bought it, so that's the story there. Who are some of your favorite YouTubers? Well, I mostly like video game YouTubers. Mr. Craven, CJU. I recently started watching, like, Call Me Kevin, and The Spiffing Brit, and Let's Game It Out. They got some really funny stuff. Who is your role model? My role model is Stephen King. He is an American horror author. He's wrote some of my favorite books. A lot of my life philosophy is structured around some of the stuff he said. He wrote a book called, I think it was just called On Writing by Stephen King. What does your username mean? On YouTube, I go by my real name. I was kind of following the model of like John Wolfe, he uses his real name. And I'm like, well, okay, my name's kind of weird. I could probably get away with it. But I normally go by Phantom Freak 001. And I made that username when I was like 14. And it stuck. I really liked it. The story behind it is that I just like Phantom of the Opera. Like, it was my favorite movie when I was a kid. One of them. What are your hobbies? This is where the list is going to get really long. I have a lot of hobbies. Right now, my main hobby is video game development. It's really fun to sit and make a video game. I've made several of them. I also like to paint. You see that mural behind me? I've recently got back into painting. I haven't done it in a long time. I can draw a little bit. I also like to knit and crochet. Lots of artistic hobbies. I mean, I've got something different every week. If you were a superhero, what powers would you have? Invisibility. I'm going straight for invisibility. Not just because, I want to do some shady shit, but because sometimes you get in embarrassing situations and you literally just want to disappear, and it'd be awesome just be like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Just fade into oblivion, That's mostly why I want it. What is the longest you've ever gone without sleep, and why? My memory serves me well. I once stayed up an entire weekend playing Fallout New Vegas. It was my brother's game. I didn't think I'd actually like the game, and then I sit down and played it, and I liked it a lot more than I anticipated. What was the last book that you read? Me and my husband are currently reading Memnoch the Devil by Anne Rice. It is actually a really good book. I've never read any of her works before. This is going to be one of the first for me, so... really good one. I recommend picking it up. I don't recommend it for children. If there are children watching this is an adult book. It's, got adult content in it. My favorite theme park ride. Roller coasters. All the way. I love me some roller coasters. I will ride them so much that they desensitize me to them. Also, anything that drops you really high, I love those. Like, can't get enough of them. What is the most unusual thing you've ever eaten? I was about 16 or 17, and me and my cousins and my brother, we were hanging out with some adults. They were, like, at some pay lake fishing. And, of course, we're bored out of our minds because we don't like to fish, right? And we're just kind of sitting around, and we're like, what do you guys want to do today? We found a box of night crawlers because, fishing, And we're like, if you eat a nightcrawler, I'll eat one. And it wasn't even a dare. Do you collect anything? I collect lots of things, but I recently got into collecting coins. I got a really cool coin collection. I even bought the books and the slips and stuff. The last place I was working at was a retail store, and they let me go through the coins, and I would trade them out with coins I had in my pocket. So yeah, I actually got quite a cool coin collection right now. You would not believe the stuff people will give you. My favorite animal is peacocks. Love them, they're beautiful. The male peacocks. The peahens aren't so pretty, but you know. What TV shows are you into? I like Rick and Morty. You have to wait like forever and a day to get a new episode because they just take their sweet time making them. Me and my husband are also watching one right now called Resident Alien. It's absolutely hilarious. It's about this alien dude. He's a literal alien from space, and he's trying to blend in with society, like Earth society, and it's just so funny. It's comical. Have you ever met anyone famous? I almost met Stephen King one time. Remember that guy I mentioned earlier? They had like a seminar kind of thing in a town close to me, and I sat in the same auditorium while he was up on the stage talking, so I've almost met somebody famous. I got very close. Alright, so this next one is, if you were a cartoon character, who would you be and why? I would probably be a Squidward because I really relate to Squidward. Poor guy, he's just trying to live his life, and SpongeBob just keeps aggravating the holy hell out of him. Do you have a lucky number? Yes, it's 13. It's a very lucky number for me. What is your hidden talent? I can sing pretty decently. What is the weirdest scar you have and how did you get it? Okay, there you go. You can kind of see it. I got that when I was like 3 or 4, and it's a dog bite. I remember this very vividly. It's so strange. My mom's dog was eating steak. You know, he likes steak. Little dog, you know. I also liked steak when I was little. And I made the mistake of getting down in his plate while he was eating steak, and you know, he let me know really quick that it was his food and not mine. What is the current wallpaper on your PC screen? It is a picture of Perotech Games. That's the studio, called a studio. It's what me and my husband publish games under. It's just the logo. I'll put a picture somewhere. Favorite video game? The Long Dark is one of my absolute favorite video games. I have several favorites, but that one trumps a lot of the other games. What is the strangest coincidence that's ever happened to you? It goes back to that 13, that lucky number 13. I had all of my children on the 13th of their respective month. What is your favorite movie or TV show to quote at random? That is going to be SpongeBob. I can just drop SpongeBob quotes just like that. Are you religious? Not really. What's your haunted house story? About 6 months ago, I was in my bed. I couldn't sleep. I was like awake, but like not awake. I was just laying there. And my closet door, this door right here, actually, the one right next to me, because I'm in my closet, busts open. And I cannot explain it. There was nothing in the closet. And there was actually a pile of stuff in front of the door, so I don't know what happened there. Do you believe in telepathy? Yes and no. I have a lot of these situations where I can sort of guess what people are going to say before they say it, and it really confuses the people. Like, oh, I was thinking the same thing, you know? I don't know if that's telepathy, but I'm just really good at guessing what people are going to say. Especially my husband, and I did it to my friends. I do it to them sometimes. I don't mean to, it just happens. What is the worst way someone butchered your name? They don't really butcher Tiffany, but my last name, Gilley, Gilley, or Gillum. I went to school with another girl. Her last name was Gillum. I often got called Tiffany Gillum or Tiffany Gilley. That is not how you say my name. My name is pronounced Gilley, like a ghillie suit. What is the most bizarre dream you've ever had? Well, I made a video game about it. I used to have these recurring nightmares, and I still have them, about going into a closet, a door, and yeah, there's just stuff on the other side. It depends on what's on the other side. Sometimes it's another apartment. Sometimes I go deeper into my subconscious, and there's some scary stuff there. It's usually tremors, like graboids and stuff, and I'll get more into that later. But yeah, that is my recurring dream. What was your favorite toy growing up? I don't think I had a favorite, but I do remember when I was a young kid, I used to play with Batman toys. Love me some Batman toys. Used to have the Batman mobile, and I had a Mr. Freeze model. Cool stuff, cool stuff. Who was the first YouTuber that you discovered? That's going to be CJU. This was when me and my husband first got into game development, and we're like, let's watch some YouTube videos for inspiration. Let's go see if we can find people playing games. And, you know, we just started searching, you know, long play games. You know, we had never really done this sort of thing before. Now I'm a pro at this. I could search up anything you want, but I didn't know how to search for video game plays of YouTube, so I was just searching, and I stumbled across CJU, and his first series I watched was of the game Scratches. That is a really awesome game. It's pretty scary. I recommend it. Do you remember when you first logged onto the internet, and if so, what was the first website you visited? I do remember I used to visit a lot of these websites when I was younger, when I was a kid, because that's when the internet kind of became mainstream in my house. I was kind of younger, I was like 12 or 13. I used it to watch cartoons, and this was before YouTube was cool. So you had to go to these weird, obscure anime websites, so I used to just watch cartoons. Just cause. Medical issues? I have this skin stuff going on. I don't know if you can see it too well. It's called Tinea Versicolor. It doesn't really do anything, it just itches a lot, and I take medicine for it, but the medicine, it just comes right back. There's no use in it, it's just itchy. Least favorite food? That's gonna be tripe. I had an ex-boyfriend take me to a Vietnamese place. I can't remember what kind of food place it was. It was an Asian food place. We had ordered some food, and he's like, this stuff's really good, you're gonna love it. And it was some kind of a broth, some kind of a soup, and it had tripe in it, and it was sweet. There was something wrong with tripe. It is not supposed to be like that. Tripe is cow tongue, and it tastes so weird. No, don't eat it. That's probably the one thing I'll never eat again. And I like food. I've eaten some pretty weird stuff, you know. This is kind of backtracking a little bit, but what is the absolute worst thing you've ever eaten? You know, I told you I ate some worms earlier, and I ate tripe. I would say the worms were definitely better than the tripe. Yeah, tripe's definitely the worst thing I've ever eaten. Who is your favorite author? Like you had to guess, it's Stephen King. I've mentioned him already a few times. What is the scariest dream you've ever had? Well, on top of those recurring nightmares that I mentioned earlier, I also have these other recurring nightmares. I'm usually getting chased by graboids or shriekers. From the Tremors franchise. If you've seen them, you know, you're familiar with them. A lot of people laugh when I tell them that that's some of the worst nightmares I've ever had, but you're not there. You're not getting chased by them. Because in your dreams, you don't know they're not real. They're pretty scary, and you can't hide from them. Have you ever tried online dating? Yes, and I'll talk more about that on another question. What accent do you like impersonating? I think perhaps my favorite is gonna be an English accent. Is quite easy to do. Least favorite insect? Centipedes. I like most critters, most animals in the world, but there's these house centipede thingies, and they are icky. This is a funny story. I was sitting in my old living room with my husband, and we was doing some game dev stuff, sitting next to each other, and the biggest house centipede I see crawls across the wall, and I'm just like, that thing better not try to get on me. And I'll be damned if not 10 minutes later it was tickling my toes. I'm not even joking. Do you have any phobias? I am claustrophobic, and I have this really bad fear of parasites. Anything that wants to eat me, just icky. No, gross. I don't like the idea of like intestinal worms or intestinal parasites. It's terrifying. What game have you spent the most hours playing? I think that's 7 Days to Die. What hobby do you have now that you wish you started earlier? That's going to be playing Dungeons and Dragons. I only started playing that like within the last 6 months. It is really super fun. If you don't play Dungeons and Dragons, go out, find you a dungeon master, and start playing. You're going to love it, and you'll thank me later. If you built a themed hotel, what would the theme be, and what would the rooms look like? That's going to be easy. I would make like a horror themed hotel, and I mean, not like The Shining. I mean, everybody does The Shining. But yeah, it would be scary. I would make it awesome. What is the coolest animal you've ever seen in the wild? Well, one time we was driving down the road, and I seen a bobcat, an actual bobcat. They're not as big as you think they are, and they are really, really cute. And they got little bobtails. They're adorable. What would the adult version of an ice cream truck sell, and what song would it play? That's awesome. An adult version of an ice cream truck would probably sell adult beverages. You know, the little bottles, about like that. And it would probably play like 50 Cent or something. If you were a clown-themed superhero, what would your powers be? Well, what kind of clown? Because if I was like something like It, I'm gonna be the scariest clown you've ever seen. Yeah, that's the powers I want. I want to be like him. Just shape-shift into whatever I want to, and that would be a superhero I would not want to run into. I would think I'd be more of an anti-hero. What do you do when you hear something fall in the middle of the night while you are in bed? Well, I ignore it. I roll over. Just go to sleep. Yep. What is the best name you could think of for a cat? Well, there's some strays running around out here. I can't tame them. They're just too wild. But there's a little orange one. He's not little. He's a big one. He's missing one of his ears. And he's orange. I named him Van Gogh. I haven't seen him for a while, so he's probably left. Do you think that aliens exist? Oh, absolutely. I mean, they just don't want to visit us. I mean, because would you visit us? What would you name a yacht if you had one? I would name it the Redneck Yacht Club. And there's just a joke behind that. In Ark, the game Ark, I would build boats and I would name them Redneck Yacht Club. So that's the joke there. What is the most useless talent that you possess? Well, that's going to be this. Do you like surprises? Why or why not? It really depends on if it's a good surprise or a bad surprise. If it's a good surprise, yeah, I mean, like, it'll probably scare me initially because I'm just jumpy. But yeah, I'll be alright. But if it's a bad surprise, like, you know, something horrible happening, I'm gonna freak out. Like, it's gonna be bad. What is your favorite holiday? That's easy. Halloween. It's the one day of the year you don't gotta be yourself. What if you found out you were on the star of The Truman Show? Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Truman kind of freaked out a little bit. I mean, that his whole life was a lie. I probably wouldn't freak out so much. I'd just be like, oh, well, I'm famous. Show me the money, you know? Where's the money? Favorite color? That's going to be all those colors you see right next to me. All those blues and greens. Favorite colors. Any combination of them, you know. Xbox or PlayStation? Growing up, I had a PlayStation. I had, like, PlayStation 2. I didn't have a PlayStation 3. I ended up switching over to an Xbox. And now I play mostly on the computer, so kind of both. Zodiac, I am a Scorpio. Favorite genre of music? I like a little bit of everything. Mostly I like more rock or heavy metal. What was the first video game you played? I don't know if I would consider it playing, but I remember my dad used to play Nintendo, old school Nintendo when I was little. And he used to play Jurassic Park on the Super Nintendo. It is a really awesome game, and I didn't beat it till I was an adult, which is kind of sad, but what made you want to do YouTube? I really don't remember why. I just know that I like to play video games, and I'm like, well, I could put them on the internet. Yeah, I really don't know what made me want to start YouTube. I think it just kind of, things fell into place. Favorite class in school? That's art class. Least favorite class in school? That's going to be gym class. I hated gym. People who liked gym, more power to you. I don't like getting all sweaty and miserable and tired. Favorite movie genre? Well, that's going to be horror comedy. Like Tremors. Good movies. Yeah, you can't beat those movies. Horror comedies are a gem, and they are really hard to pull off correctly, so if you can find one, you hold on to it tight and you never let it go. Other than horror comedy, I guess it'd be just regular old horror. As a YouTuber and game developer, who are your favorite indie game developers? Top 5. That's Puppet Combo, Corpse Pile, Graham, Germ Food, and Airdorf. They have really awesome stuff. I've not seen anything that they've put out that I don't like. Good stuff. Check them out over on itch.io or wherever you get your indie game fix at. Do you have a catchphrase? I say I'm confoozled a lot, so I guess that's a good catchphrase. I do spend a lot of time being confoozled. Do you have any pets? I do. I have pets. Gribble, come here. You want to be the star? You want to growl at me? He's mean. No. Not today. I'll just put a picture of him up. He's grumpy. But his name's Gribble, and he's named after King of the Hill character. Relationship status. I am married. How did you meet? Well, this goes back to that online dating question that we had. I put a personal ad on Craigslist, and so we met through Craigslist. We've been together for about 5 years, so I would say it's going pretty good so far. Favorite Disney movie? The Lion King. Not the new one, the old animated cartoon musical one. I love that one. What character do you like to play in Dungeons & Dragons? Well, I've only done it once, and I like to play as a rogue. That's what I'm playing as currently. Are you a morning or a night person? I am definitely a night person. But right now my sleep schedule's all messed up. I'm getting up at like the ass crack of dawn. It's hard. It's really hard. Do you know how to cook? I do. I'm a self-taught cook. I've taught myself most everything. My husband's taught me some things. No culinary schools for me. What is your favorite smell? Well, there's this perfume. I don't think they make it anymore. You used to be able to get it at Victoria's Secret. It was called Love Potion or Love Spell. They don't make it no more, I'm pretty sure. But you can usually find a knockoff version at any other store, and they smell basically the same. So yeah, that's my favorite. It's really fruity and like smells like strawberries and stuff. What jobs have you worked at? I have mostly done retail. I don't like doing customer service, but I'm unfortunately very good at it. I've also been a janitor a little bit. That's not a bad job. People leave you alone, you can just be to yourself. I've worked at some warehouses. I won't say which ones, but it's a pretty big warehouse company. They do a lot of online shopping. and they will work you to death. I don't recommend working for them. What is your favorite dessert? Anything with chocolate in it. I love chocolate. I'm a major chocoholic. Do you look like a celebrity? I don't think I do anymore, but when I was younger, a lot of people told me I looked a lot like Kristen Stewart, the Twilight girl. Do you prefer books or films? I am a book lover, but I also like movies. I've seen some good movies, but if I were to compare books versus the movies, books are always better. Can you dance? No. Should I dance? No. Do I like to dance? Yes. I like to dance, but I can't dance. What are your favorite songs from your teenage years that you still rock out to when nobody else is around? My Chemical Romance, Fall Out Boy, Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears, yeah, all the classics. If all your clothes had to be one color forever, what color would you pick? That's easy. Black. Most of my clothes are black anyway. I have the occasional red shirt or a white shirt, but mostly they're black. Have you ever locked your keys in the car? Not me personally, but my husband has done it about 3 times, and it is a pain every time he does it. Are you an adventurous person? Not really. I'm a very boring person. I'm very plain. I don't do much. I sit at the house. I live through my computer, through my media. What are your favorite snacks? Beef jerky. Definitely one of them. And probably Doritos. Good stuff. How good are you at drawing? Well, I'll put some of my drawings here on the screen and I'll let you guys be the judge of that. What are you hilariously bad at? Walking. You know them old shows, them old sitcoms, there would always be this clumsy girl and she would just fall for no reason. That's me. I do that. What catchy jingle or bit of advertising has stuck with you all these years? When your debt goes up, your score goes down. When you pay a little off, it goes the other way around. It's the same for everybody, every boy and girl. The credit roller coaster makes you wanna hurl. Those old stupid freecreditreport.com commercials. How tall are you? I am 5'4.5". I'm almost 5'5". Do you speak any other languages? If so, how well? I speak a little bit of Spanish. Hablo español un poquito. Muy un poquito. Es no bueno. Tattoos. Nope, not a single one. I want tattoos, but I don't have any tattoos. What is the first app you check when you wake up in the morning? It's usually my email, just to see what's going on. How do you feel about makeup? I don't wear it. I don't like it. I used to wear it a lot in my high school years, but only because my mom was like, Tiff, you gotta wear makeup. You gotta be pretty. You gotta be a pretty girl. And I'm just like, Mom, I hate makeup. I really hate makeup. And as an adult, I don't wear it. Don't want to. I don't like the way it makes my face feel. I have never found a makeup that has made me feel comfortable. It always feels like there's just like paste on my face. Not cool. I will occasionally wear some eye makeup if I'm in a good mood or if it's a special occasion, but nope, no makeup for me. Did you go to college? I did go to college. I did not finish. I dropped out, sadly. I was majoring in English because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And lastly, the final question is, what will you play next? You know, in all honesty, I think I'm going to play Half-Life. I've never played that game. And my husband's been begging me to play it. He's like, you got to play this game, Tiff. And I kind of feel bad. I've been not intentionally putting him off and blowing him off, but I have unintentionally put him off a little bit. So I'm going to be playing the Half-Life games next after I get some space. I'm finishing up a GTA series, and when that's done, Half-Life. So, if there was any other questions that you wanted answered and they weren't on this, this video, leave them in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them. As long as they're not like troll questions or stupid stuff, I will answer them if I don't, decide not to. So, be sure to check out my channel. I post lots of gaming content. It's mostly just me, being immature because I can. Lots of funny stuff on there. I think it's funny. I'm that person who laughs at their own jokes, so I'll go back and I'll watch these videos and I'm just like, that shit's funny, I love it. So yeah, thanks for watching and hopefully you subscribe and I will see you in the next video.